Greetings, fellow Toastmasters. This evening I'm going to be talking about impromptu speaking. Now, impromptu speaking is when you speak off the cuff, when you need to say something without having time to plan out exactly what you want to say. Now, in Toastmasters, impromptu speaking is our table topics portion of the meeting where we talk for 2 minutes about a subject that we haven't had time to actually prepare and practice a 2-minute speech about in advance. Now, the purpose of table topics is to improve your ability to speak without thinking a lot, to think on your feet, so to speak. Now, in real life, impromptu speaking mostly involves discussions that you have with your colleagues, your family, or your personal relationships. Now, obviously, there are going to be times when you need to give a speech at a meeting. You might end up in court and have to give some kind of speech. Or you could have to give a speech after a dinner, like a wedding dinner or some other special dinner. Now, this speech is primarily about developing the mental habits that allow you to be effective when you don't have time to prepare for a speech. First, I would like to get into some pointers. You can practice daily. When you practice daily, you just think of some subject off the top of your head, come up with some ideas in a brief amount of time, and then talk about it. You can record yourself. I like to record my speeches and play them back. You can record yourself reading. When you play it back, try to develop a kind of a cadence to your voice. Now, you want to use the short time that you have when you find out that you have to speak spontaneously before you begin speaking to think of the points that you want to make. Now, you want to avoid talking too long. If you're not an expert, don't talk for more than 2 minutes. Obviously, if you're an expert, you can say a lot, but if you don't know a lot, don't talk too long. You're not going to have much to say. Now, when you rush yourself, you rush your talent. You want to keep a steady speaking pace. If you talk too fast, people are going to have a hard time understanding you and absorbing what you have to say, and you're not going to be able to think through what you're saying as well. Now, success in public speaking is a matter of presence of mind. That means that you're thinking of the right words in the right time and at the right moment. And that is something that I'm going to talk about more in my speech. But first, something to keep in mind when you are speaking in public, when you're developing as a speaker, when you're evaluating how you're doing, that around any given circle, a larger circle can be drawn. Now, that means around any given set of experiences, a larger set of experiences can develop. Now, this happens because you transcend your past mistakes by learning from them, and you overcome your past bad habits by rising above them. Now, one thing that seems self-explanatory and obvious is that you need to relax. This seems self-explanatory. And I know you're all telling yourself, that's what I know my problem is, I just can't do it. But I'm going to talk a little bit about relaxation and its importance. When you are relaxed, more ideas will come to you. Think about swimming. If you relax while swimming, you will float better. If you relax while downhill skiing, your edges will grab into the icy patches better. Public speaking is no different. You'll get through the rough spots in life better if you relax. Now, often thinking about getting in front of a group of people and speaking, or thinking of a conflict, is scarier than it actually is in the end. I think of my, job reviews that I've had. You're so scared, you go there, it's not that tough. It's actually scarier to even remember. Now, in order to relax, you want to take a deep breath and relax your shoulders and loosen your eyebrows. It's amazing how many ideas will come to you when you relax like this. You can also relax your back, your neck, your hands, any muscle that is tense. You want to do this in a pressure situation before responding. Now, when you're under stress, are you a clenched fist or an open hand? You want to be that open hand. You want to choose relaxation over resistance, resentment, and refutation. Now, you can practice by relaxing your shoulders and loosening your eyebrows every time the phone rings. This will develop your habit. You see, your inner world is the source of your outer experiences. Your internal struggles and lack of peace of mind come across as anxiety, nervous mannerisms, and an unconscious glaze while speaking spontaneously. This is because you reveal yourself when you are under pressure, when you are before all those eyes of the audience. Some people crumble in fear at having to reveal themselves, while others thrive at the opportunity to show how they feel. You want to be someone who thrives. So you do not let your outer circumstances determine how you feel. You need to relax, concentrate, and prepare yourself mentally when dealing with a difficult situation. Now, it's very important to stay positive. Thinking on your feet is a mental habit. You need to think of what is happening in you, not around you when you are under pressure. Everything depends on how you see yourself. You want to be the thermostat, not the thermometer. Now, we know when it gets hot, the mercury in the thermometer rises up. That's not you. When it gets hot, the thermostat turns off the furnace to cool down the room. That's what you want to be. You want to be that thermostat. You must look within yourself and not respond to external conditions when dealing with the unresponsive person. See, people who criticize you, they have a negative impression. You need to come back with your own positive thoughts. One way to look at things is that the people who you feel are against you, who say critical things, these people are giving you advice. They are telling you things about yourself that your friends and your family may never tell you because they like you and they don't want to hurt your feelings. So those people who are against you, they're helping you. They're giving you advice. So put a smile on the face of your enemies. Change your relationship with your enemies by changing the way you see them. So when you're at work, the next day you're at work, and you see someone coming along who you just don't like, greet that person as if he's your best friend. Change your relationship with that person. Now, the best speaking commands attention and invites participation. You need to evoke others' ideas. Now, avoiding a critical background thought is essential. Now, a background thought is like your attitude or your frame of mind. You can realize what your background thoughts are when you're alone with your thoughts, when you're walking the dog, driving along by yourself, when you're spending time with yourself and your mind isn't occupied by you. I know with me it's always the news. I think about the news and it bothers me sometimes. See, that's negative. You need to think positive. One thing you can do is you can take an attitude break. You can imagine yourself rowing away from your problems and relax mentally. Now, a positive background thought could be, I'm going to enjoy the entire day. You could also believe that you're going to change negative things into positive things. And you just need to do that all day. That's like your goal. That's your thought of the day. So keep a positive attitude. Now, there are many people who have difficulty public speaking. These people have been ridiculed and maligned in the past. They carry this around with them for years. They have this negative background thought because of some group of people from their past. Well, these people need to change that negative to positive. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. Years ago in my 20s, when I was getting started off in my adult life, I had this job. It was a good job, but I felt like the people I worked with just weren't fair to me. For whatever it wasn't fair. I had some roommates for a while. I felt like they complained, and it was all so unjust. And I carried it around. I was negative. Now, I had a lot of friends. Probably more friends than at any other time in my life. For a time, I had my own place. I had money to pay my bills. But I wasn't happy. And I wasn't happy because I didn't think positive all day long, every day. Today, I don't have much of anything. I live with my parents. But I think positive. And I'm happy. I'm happier than I was supporting myself, just thinking positive. So forget yesterday, someday, and go for your best today. Now, it's very important to have positive goals. You want to avoid having a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's easy to think about what we don't want to happen. If you cannot concentrate on what you want to happen, your environment is going to determine how you feel. You must concentrate on what you want to happen. You want to see what you want to happen as if it is already done. You want to use a visual picture. You want to proceed through life as if everything were going to go your way. To do otherwise, people will think you don't trust them. People will think that you think that they're dishonest or that they're against you. Now sometimes it might be tough to reach your goals. You want to have manageable goals. You want to have a manageable amount of goals. So sometimes just clear your mind of all those goals and choose a simple goal like, I'm going to be happy today. So in the morning, take some time, clear your mind, imagine yourself succeeding. Think of a positive thought of the day. Maybe write it down. In the evening, evaluate how you did. I find it hard maybe with the morning and the evening thing, but just any time you can, just think about, have I been positive, what I can do, maybe writing it down in a book with a date on it, maybe that can help. Certainly in the beginning it will help. Now, I've talked a lot about not letting external conditions determine how you feel. You also need to listen to others. You need to listen to other people without thinking of someone else, something else, while they're speaking. You see, effective critics stimulate achievement through positive points and support. You need to listen to others without criticism in your background. You need to have a quiet openness. If you're negative inside, you're going to get a fight. If you remain positive, you will get information from the other person. Now that information is going to help you in your communication. It's going to help you understand where you are in your relationships. So think positive and listen. So in conclusion, your negative thoughts and poor self-image come across when you speak spontaneously. Now this does have a kind of a sense to it, because if you can plan everything you're going to say, you can plan around all those negative ideas and your negative attitude. But if you don't have time to plan, you can kind of think of a rough idea of what you're going to talk about, and the words are just going to come out. And if you're thinking negative, if you have a negative frame of mind, that's going to come across, because you're not going to be able to help saying something that you're thinking. So that's why you need to think positive every minute, every day, all day long. Relax, remain positive at all times, and you will be a better speaker.
The dishes that